Lobster, you got it back yet? Lobster's a 10 I told you grab it.
This video is brought to you by T-Blocks. Enjoy the content now, but stay for the shilling later. Welcome to Lobster Magnet and Friends, another solo review for My Hero Academia, Chapter 179. Now, this was a really, really good chapter. I really enjoyed this one, continuing my ongoing coverage of My Hero Academia for My Hero Academia month, and I really like this. The fight between Midora and Gentil heats up, and we get a little bit of a backstory from Gentil, the gentle criminal. Now, this is not like a really great backstory, but I freaking loved it, because you see, most of you, I'm sure, who are listening to this are probably much younger than me. I'm like in my early 30s. And generally, you tend to find that like most anime fandom, especially people on YouTube, are like early, late teens to early 20s. And so says the data whenever I look at like the channel analytics in terms of the age of the audience who's actually consuming this. So why this resonated with me so well is because as you get older, you encounter many, many, many more instances of failure and disappointment as you fail to live up to the ideal that you would like to see yourself in. You are not as successful as you'd want to be. You do not find success in the field you want to. You make basically, adulthood for most people is a series of de-escalating compromises as you lower the bar to mediocrity until you just sort of plateau to the point where you die or, breed with someone and then put all your resources into, your little genetic clone and hope they can do better than you. And seeing poor Gentil, the gentle criminal, and his, existence of mediocrity, he just wanted to be a hero. Gentil wanted to be remembered like anyone. You don't want to be forgotten by the faces of history. That's someone anyone could, empathize with. And Gentil wanted to be a great hero, but he just was terrible at high school. Just like he's terrible at being a hero, and he tries, and then he, fucks up, and he gets discharged from school, and he gets held back, a bunch of years in the most embarrassing way to the point where his, parents are throwing stuff at him, and he's, basically unemployed. Oh, Gentil, your struggle is real. I empathize with you so much. And it sort of builds up to what I think Horikoshi's, attempting to do with Gentil. So, I hope he does this. All the decks, the cards are lined up. Midora needs to... This is going to be the arc where Midora learns Talk no Jutsu. That's going to be how he surpasses All Might. Not by, becoming better with One for All, but by learning the power of empathy and Talk no Jutsu to understand, Gentil and his situation. And then what I think will happen is, since they're not fighting with quirks, we'll see Midora basically understand Gentil, and then he'll sneak him into the sports festival. And then they'll reach some sort of compromise where Midora will get him in as, a guest, and then Gentil will somehow, help out with the dance number or the festivities, and then, he'll become, a friend, and that's how we'll sort of, have the climax to this little arc. Because, it just feels like have Midora just beat the shit out of him would be, it would be a big step down, especially since we have a great opportunity. A couple chapters ago, we had that great little mini arc where, we've had both Endeavor and Bakugo, whose paths and development are kind of mirrored, have that great moment where, they both had this, moment of growth, where they both sort of saw, their shortcomings and attempted to move past it. And for Deku, this is a great moment of character growth in terms of giving him a weapon that will be more powerful than whatchamacallit, just punching people with One for All. And I honestly can sort of see that where, he defeats Shigaraki not by a, punch down, bro down fight, but rather, doing because, we don't know Shigaraki's backstory. We just have a few very vague clues that, Shigaraki was left alone in the slum. No heroes came to save him because he's this unappealing child with scars and dangerous quirks, so he was left alone except for One for All. Or All for One. Deku's gonna realize that he's gonna be the one to break through him. That's the way he wins, is not by punching the shit out of Shigaraki, which, hasn't worked, but by, saving him how he wanted to be saved. That's the best arc you can give him. And, fingers crossed that's what we'll see good old Deku do. So that's why I really want to see a Talk No Jutsu. I really want to see him, and it would be fun to have like the gentle criminal, as a sort of supporting character in terms of like, kind of like serving as like an undercover agent for like Deku to like, oh my god, imagine this, if La Brava and Gentle the Gentle Criminal have to like go undercover into to join the League of Villains, and they do it on Deku's behalf to like understand what's going on with them. That would be a fucking amazing arc. And like, originally I just thought they were I didn't really like Gentil and La Brava, but now I'm sort of seeing the narrative potential that they could serve, and like, there's a lot of fun things that Horikoshi can do with them. And I like the fact that Gentil fails as a student, he fails as a hero, and he's failing pretty much as a villain, even though, his quirk isn't terrible. And like I said, as I've come to terms with my own overarching mediocrity and failure, I can empathize with that on a great deal, because everyone wants to be the best, everyone wants to be remembered, but sometimes you hit that sort of wall where, your innate talent, your innate luck, your innate connections cannot break above it. And we are sort of trained to like these Horatio... Oh, God, maybe I'll put this up on May. I did a play called Soul of a Poet. And in the play is probably the best thing I've done. It's about this sort of like, kind of like highly autistic, high on the spectrum guy who lives with like his coworker who's sort of his caretaker. And his whole point is that, he sort of knows that he's leading a mediocre existence because, he like watches shit like Harry Potter, and he wants to like, go to Harvard because he sees Harvard as like the real world version of Hogwarts. So what happens is, he keeps on taking the SAT again and again and again, and it just becomes this like painful barrier as he can never like score a good enough grade to like get something that would be required to entry into Harvard. And that's, kind of like poor old Gentle the Gentle Criminal. Obviously he's not mentally handicapped, but Gentle the Gentle Criminal is just, screwed at life. And, Horikoshi's not terrible at coming up with these, like, backstory. I mean, on paper, it's not a great backstory, but I don't know. It hits me the right way. Maybe I'm just, like, set up in life to, like, really empathize with Gentle the Gentle Criminal. But I have been enjoying these, like, really short backstories he's done. Like, one of my favorite backstories he did was, the backstory he did for Twice, good old Deadpool. I loved his backstory and it sort of reinforced the theme that like villains are just people who are searching for a place, because ultimately in the superhero powered world of My Hero Academia, you want a purpose, and sometimes you just do not get a purpose. You get a stupid quirk, you get a weird quirk, you get something that is designed to ostracize you, and the world is designed to just beat the shit out of you, and doesn't really help you accommodate with it. And that's how we have the rise of so many villains, and why villain society is so... prevalent and appealing. And I think that's why Tomar Shigaraki's creed, instead of like, I want to kill All Might, but, I want to build a world for us, that's good for us, that lets us do what we want to do, that doesn't persecute us. And that's why it's infinitely more powerful than, his previous creed, which is just like, I want to destroy All Might. But now that he's got like a better creed, that's how his charisma level is like kind of like increasing. He's leveling up that good old charisma to becoming a more effective villain leader. So, I can't wait to see Tomar Shigaraki. I really want to get like a good arc where he's like the central focus. I hope he comes back soon. But, the Gentle Criminal is a great palate cleanser. And, if he keeps on building up what I think is going to happen, I think he could be a great supporting character, and one of my all-time favorite supporting characters. But, the path is there. I can see the path to, like, a really good story arc to use for him. The question is, will Horikoshi do it, or will Midoriya just beat the shit out of him? If he beats the shit out of him and then just, like, takes him to jail, that'll be, like, the worst choice he could pick, the most boring choice he could make. But I'm hoping that, like, they team up. He wants to get late, and Midoriya says, I'll get you into the UA Sports Festival, blah, blah, blah. You'll be there on my permission. And then you could say that you were a part of it because, you made friends with the hero. And then, we could have a great scene where, like, Gentil uses elasticity, and then he makes, like, platforms for Deku, and Deku's, like, bouncing off the platforms, and he's carrying Gentil and La Brava, and then they make it just in time, and then he starts dancing, and then he does an incredible move using Gentil Gentle's elasticity to like do breakdancing in the air, and everyone's dancing, and little Aries smiles, and then La Brava and Gentil see her smile, and they realize that this is the path that is a good path for them, and they are ultimately thankful for Deku for giving them purpose, for helping them out, and it would be a really great, powerful power of friendship moment. And, that's what we all come for at the end of the day. These great power of friendship moments with superpowers. So, I'm just fingers crossed, man. I want this to happen. It's like the best story option to go for what's been built up so far. So, like half of these things, like, they may be formulaic or predictable, but like you could sort of see the best, smartest option. And you fingers crossed that they like go for it. And I'm hoping Horikoshi goes for it. This is definitely like an arc I wasn't a huge fan of initially, but I understood its purpose as like a palate cleanser from the more intense internship arc. But, I fingers crossed, man. Like next chapter, hit it out of the park. Because then you're like, you're given a great amount of character growth. You're also like showing off, a little bit of a power up with Midoriya with his new hero items, with his frickin' finger booster gloves, and I think this could be an all-time good shit. So those are my thoughts. I give this an 8.5. I really like where this chapter's being set up. Question is it going to go all the way? Is it going to plus ultra and be a great moment? So fingers crossed, Gentil. I'm rooting for you. You're starting to win me over, Mr. Gentil, the gentle criminal. Just do it. Just do it. Friendship no jutsu. Talk no jutsu. Come on. I believe in you. All right, so those are my thoughts. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the second video that's been posted up for My Hero Month. I'll probably try and review watch and review the second episode of Season 3 either tomorrow or Sunday. Maybe if Sunday I can get Goro to come in and join it. If not, then it'll just be a solo review, unfortunately. But thanks for hanging around, and, plus ultra, and remember, lobster's and tennis, but don't you grab it. Do you like clothes but hate shopping? Then T-Blocks is the subscription service for you. But I know what you're thinking. But Lobster, how is that any different than Loot Crate or the other subscription services? Well, T-Block sends you t-shirts, which is clothing, which is actually useful, unlike the useless swag junk that Loot Crate keeps peddling on gullible schmucks. And this isn't just knockoff brand crap. T-Blocks hooks you up with licensed shirts for all the stuff you love, because you need clothes. How else are you going to keep your puny human man flesh protected from the elements? T-shirts are useful for any occasion. Wear them, give them to friends, give them to enemies, knit them together, make a quilt. T-shirts are life. And you know the best part? It'll only cost you $6.99. That's right, you can get 12 shirts sent to you for once a month for only $6.99. And you know what? If ultra cheap licensed goods are too basic for you, then there's also the Community T-Block set, which features original designs from the best up-and-coming artists, so you can keep that hipster street cred. But I'm here to save you even more money! Use the code LOBSTERTBX at checkout, and you'll save 10% on any order. Be a t-shirt wearing god amongst mortals. Use the power of the most expensive seafood to get you the cheapest t-shirts now!
Lobster's